You're not going to be a student and a soldier. Oh, you won't be. They'll kick you out the army, wouldn't they? You're not going to be a worker and a soldier. No, you got to be a soldier. Is this right? But our revolutionaries in our society think that, hey, I can work and be a revolutionary on the weekends. Bullshit. What you have is organized workers. You have a workers' association under the auspices of a revolutionary movement. You have a students' association. That's why members of SNCC was members of the Black Panthers, because it was a student association. It was an association of students. Until they got old enough and graduated out of school. Follow it if you do the history on the Black Panthers. It wasn't until they graduated out of school and had time till they become real revolutionaries. Because you can possibly be watching the block and be at work. We can only become a nation when you got enough people where the nation is their job. The Nation of Islam act like they got a nation. They ain't got no nation. Because a nation works for itself. And if they do have a nation, it is only the Nation of Islam. It ain't a black nation. Because it might work to keep the Nation of Islam going. But it ain't working for the black community. Because what is it doing in the black community as a whole? Nothing. So they got a nation of Islam, but they don't have a black nation. And if you have a nation of Islam long enough, then you're going to have a nation of Arabs and white people, because anybody can get into Islam. Only certain people can get into black, though. You follow what I'm making? So when you say you have a black nation, you didn't cut some people off. How can you have white people in a black nation? You can have white people in a nation of Islam, because it's a nation of Islam. But when you have a black nation, you cannot get away with having white people in a black nation. It's not going to work. Never. So my whole point in saying this is that when we turn up our charge and turn up our energy here, irregardless of what we see, our nation is not the people that aren't cooperating with us. That has nothing to do with what we're doing here. When I was on Vernon in 30-degree weather, my nation building had nothing to do with people that was not cooperating with me. It had nothing to do with people that didn't want to help. Did you feel what I'm making? I am the nation, was the nation, will be the nation. And it's those people who make that statement are the nation, and those are the people who are really relevant to the nation developing. Now everybody black will positively be impacted by it. Y'all hear the point I'm making? Everybody will benefit. Every black person will benefit from this. But their relevance is relative to how they can stay and stand in that position that I am the nation. Y'all hear the point I'm making? That's their relevance in the moment. People will come and go. One minute they be winners, one minute they won't. Nation building is not people cooperating with us. Nation building is us standing in a position of nation building. White people can cooperate with us. Our enemies for a moment can cooperate with us, right? What the hell they got to do with nation building? Nation building is us standing in that position constantly. Children standing in that position. Many people standing in that position. So no matter what's going on or around us, what people are doing, whether it looks like they're with or not with us, what's the most significant question? Our nation building. Because we knew nation building meant that we're going to have to pick up the slack where some individuals have not stepped up at. Because if it wasn't for that, this thing called nation building would be a given. Wouldn't it? It would be just absolute. We wouldn't even have to say it. It would just be, we would be on something else. Right? Maybe we'll be making a spaceship. But we're clearly here not making a spaceship. We're about nation building, and that's a predominant factor because of the uncooperative energy that we already know exists, and it exists every day. And it's not going to be a day where it don't exist. But you know what happened? Our resistance against it will build up. And it will build up so strong that it will look like there is no resistance to it. It will look like that to somebody who's onlooking. What we're doing will be so strong it will look like is no resistance. But it is. We've just overcome it. You know what I'm making? We've just beat it down. But the resistance still exists. And every day, our goal is not to live a resistless day, but to wake up and apply our power and organize our human power into dealing with the reality of the resistance. And any day where the resistance seems like it's way too much, we've given up that day. And we're not here today as successful as we have it now because this is no resistance, or this is the way of least resistance. We're here because we have been effective with dealing with the resistance. But it's being applied. It's like you holding down a crocodile, and if he can get out from any angle, he will. Feel what I'm making? But your power is looked at is because you have the crocodile, and they begin to think that the crocodile ain't dangerous. Man, that crocodile ain't shit. You see how you holding him down? You got it wrong. It's just we've mastered the resistance. And all the little challenges that we're going through now, over time, we're going to keep building up strength. Well, it's going to like, man, they got that thing going. It's in order, man. That's smooth. No, it's not. We have just surmounted and overcome the resistance. We got people, they wake up. I got to deal with the resistance again. Go back to bed. Go lay back down. Go back to sleep. But when people wake up, what angle am I about to go at this resistance today? That's nation building. Some people think it's going to be easy, so when they come up against challenges, it seems like it's a contradiction. This ain't nation building. Niggas is crazy. That's why it's nation building, because niggas is crazy, man. But it looks contradictory to people who are not willing to deal with the resistance. You begin to think that, hey, since I'm a police officer, it shouldn't be no crime. And if you experience crime, it's contradiction to having a police force. You forget that's why you got a police force. But you've become too comfortable, too lazy. The resistance that we are going through is exactly why we established this. So that we can come up with a consistent methodology to maintain a power equal and opposite to the resistance that's given out. That's why we did this. People came out of the house. They coming back again. But we strategized the resistance because first time they came and walked through the door. We perfected the resistance. We put locks, didn't we? So you can't just go through the door and walk in, can you? Because we put locks. But it took manpower to what? To put the lock in there. So the power that we applied overcame the resistance. That's all nation building is. No matter how romantically we make it look. It's about building power to overcome the resistance against what we are setting up. So now we put the lock there, can't get past the door. The resistance is there. How do we maximize our force against the resistance that we meet? Do you hear the point I'm making? That's when we become masterminds. And at that point, we become masters. At that point, people keep perming their hair every day. Why? Combing their hair. Why? Because the resistance of the hair makes it curl back up. And their hair is going to be as straight as they're able to maintain force and pressure against the resistance. That's what nation building is. We've come together as men to maximize our power against resistances that are in our community that are against the greater benefit of our people. But let's look at ourselves every day and see, are we going full force against the resistances? And how can we optimize our force against the resistance? Do you see the point I'm making? How do we optimize our force against the resistance? Not why is there resistance, but how do we optimize? And when we perfect that, we will be going beyond them different little unique challenges. And we'll look up, and this will be the nation that we have all wanted to create and see by going against some resistance. And I really want to conclude it with that, but that's something really to look at. We find ourselves in our moments. We got to challenge ourselves in those moments, or we will fall by the waysides, and we can be counted among the failures. In the moments where, man, I'm tired of this shit, man. These motherfuckers. Try this and try that and this shit, man. Exhausted, don't know what to do. Radical response to resistance. You feel what I'm making? In the moments. I listened to the tape of Dr. York. He's talking about he's in jail, he's seeing rats and all this. I said, I saw a broken down man there. He got against the resistance and all he did was just panic and scatter, didn't he? He could have made one clear message. I am to release me from here. You hear the point I'm making? I'm pretty sure, you know what I'm saying, that if he said that would move them Nuwaubians into such a force. Well, they would have to let that man go one way or the other. But he didn't have the fortitude to maintain the level of stability. You feel the one I'm making? To override the resistance. Because if he just had that integrity over the phone, you see what I'm making? They would have saw their leader and not somebody else. That's why they're saying, hey, a UFO got him. That ain't him. Why? Because it ain't him. It ain't the him he know. They know. It's a person who has been overridden by the resistance. Do you see the point I'm making? Realistically. But if he had that integrity, they'd have came and got him up out of there. I'm positive about that. But they hear somebody broken down. They don't know if that's him. What happened to him? Is that him? That's why I challenge myself. I go into the resistance. You know what I'm saying?
Looking forward.
Come on. To show and prove my integrity in a moment of resistance. Because if you've mastered that, you have mastered everything. And the only resistance that you can ever experience, this is deep, follow me with this, is the resistance here. Because it's always resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, resistance here, right? So if you can deal with resistance here, you have completely mastered it everywhere that it can be experienced. It's all the same. The battlefield of the mind. Y'all hit what I'm making?
Yes.
Ain't it all the same?
Yeah.
So when we master it right here and go into dealing with the resistance, looking at it, gauging into it, then we beat it everywhere else.